Day 130, verses 23 to 26, the two paths. Namaste and welcome to Gita 360. Yesterday we discovered that beyond the changing universe lies an eternal reality that never dissolves. Today, the Gita continues its answer to Arjuna's question about recognizing the divine in one's final moments. It describes the true paths by which a departing soul may travel beyond this life. O best of the Bharatas, I shall now explain the paths by which yogis depart from this world, one leading to non return and the other leading to return. Not every journey after death follows the same route or reaches the same destination. The Gita describes two routes that the soul takes to depart from this world. One leads to a state from which there is no return. The other leads back into the cycle of birth and death. The Gita describes them as paths rather than a moment, suggesting a journey that unfolds in a particular direction over time. Those who know the Supreme Brahman and who depart from this world during the 6 months of the sun's northern course, the bright fortnight of the moon, and the bright part of the day attain Brahman and do not return. Those practitioners of Vedic rituals who depart during 6 months of the sun's southern course, the dark fortnight of the moon, the time of smoke, and the night attain the celestial abodes. After enjoying celestial pleasures, they again return to the earth. One path is described in terms of fire, day, the bright half of the lunar month, and the sun's northern course. The other half is described with smoke, night, the dark fortnight of the lunar month, and the sun's southern course. Those who depart along the first path attain the supreme and do not return. But those who follow the second path reach the celestial realms, enjoy the fruits of their virtuous actions, and return to earthly life to continue in a cycle of birth and death, appearance and dissolution. The imagery is striking because throughout the Gita we have read about the contrast between light and darkness, between moving towards what is eternal and remaining bound to what is temporary. These verses perhaps use the imagery of light and shadow to say that the soul's final journey is only a continuation of its movement till that point. A soul that has lived in truth, clarity, and unselfishness in the path of light moves towards the divine. One that has remained caught in the pull of worldly desires and lingering attachments in the path of shadows and smoke returns to the changing world to seek what is left unfinished in the previous cycle. Throughout this chapter, we have read that even the highest realms within creation are transient. These verses make that distinction clear once again. The heavenly worlds may be extraordinary, but they are not the final destination. Only the Supreme is. These two paths, the bright and the dark, are regarded as the eternal ways of departure from this world. By one, the soul reaches a state of no return. By the other, it returns again. The Gita says these two paths have always existed. One leads to liberation and the other leads to rebirth. Every life has a direction and the heart steadily moves towards what it values most. If it is drawn towards what is temporary, it remains within that changing world. If it rests in the eternal, it moves towards that which never changes. Throughout our lives, we are moving along one of these two roads without understanding what lies at the end of the road. Think of two people standing on seashore at twilight. One keeps their eyes fixed on the horizon, watching the fading light and resting in the stillness of the open ocean. The other keeps looking around to search the sand for small shells they dropped earlier in the afternoon. Both stand on the exact same shore, but one is drawn towards the vastness of the sea while the other remains occupied with what is left behind. It's the same in our lives. What we give our attention to, what we spend our time pursuing, and what we keep returning to in our hearts determines the direction of our lives and the end of it. The path of light is not something discovered suddenly at the end of life. It is the habit of constantly and consistently turning our mind towards what is constant in an ever changing world. That is why the Gita places such importance on remembrance. It is inviting us to walk in the direction of the divine every single day. Thought of the day. The direction of the final step is decided by the direction of every ordinary step before it. Pause for a moment today and reflect. What direction are my daily thoughts and choices leading me towards? Thank you for joining me on Gita 360. May we become more aware of the path we are walking each day. And may we have the courage to walk in clarity, turning our hearts towards the light that never fades.